Most developers and technical leads use the wrong strategy when trying to stay under budget and meet deadlines. They're working under a business model that works for a lot of types of businesses, but it doesn't work for software. Smart managers try to take the model that they've seen work before, which is man hours, and apply it to software. The thing is, that doesn't work. We've known for a very long time, and over 50 years, from this book, The Mythical Man Month, that man hours, or in this case, man months, are mythical. They don't work. It's the wrong model to be using to think about things. Unfortunately, my beloved little book here doesn't give us a solution. It gives us a few threads that we can pull on, but it doesn't give us the answer outright. And when I read it at the beginning of my career, I got frustrated by this, and I was curious about it. There has to be a better solution. Eventually, I fell upon a concept that originates from here, but if we pull on that thread, it gives us a really solid model for how to think about how to optimize our teams and meet deadlines and stay under budget and all of it. However, there isn't a simple solution. The answer is really complicated and really involved. I'm actually going to make a whole channel about this. I'm not just going to do one video. Don't worry though, I'll still give you 3 things. There's 3 things that I do with clients to start them off on the right track. And these 3 things will also help to enforce the concept that I want to teach today. Before that, though, let's go over the problem in a little bit more detail. I'll go through my solution and how it works, and then I'll give you those 3 applications of my solution. The problem is that man hours don't work with software. What is a man hour? Let's make sure we understand that. A man hour is a very simple concept. If I'm a manager and I need something done, then by putting more people on this, I can make a trade. I can trade off money for time. If I want to get it done faster, I throw money at the problem and my time goes down, my deadline gets shorter, I'm able to do this. This is very simple if you think about digging a ditch. If I have one guy digging a ditch because I paid them whatever, and then I have 3 guys digging a ditch, it's going to get done faster if I have 3 guys digging the ditch. Ditches aside, what if we have a different kind of task? The task is, hey, we need to go around and everybody needs to have memorized everybody else's name and something interesting about them. If I have a team of 3 versus a team of 20, obviously the team of 3 is going to get done faster. What does this tell us? This tells us that the nature of the task changes how we need to think about the task, how we need to think about how much that task is going to cost. Another way I think of this is with a throttle. If I am working in a model that works with man hours, if I push the throttle up, things get cheaper. If I push the throttle back, they go faster. Is there a throttle for the type of knowledge work that we have with software? And this is the key question that I've been asking in my head. Is there a way that I can fine-tune this and make it actually work? Yes, there is. Unfortunately, it's not just one throttle. It's like a whole panel of different throttles, and that's why I'm going to make this a channel instead of just one video. But there still is a core underlying knit together concept, and that concept is communication. Communication drives everything. I've turned this into my theory of communication. I'm about to jump into the 3 communication-driven things that I do with my clients at the start to set them off on the right path. But before I do that, this is my first video, and it takes a little bit of, working yourself up to do this. I would really love some feedback. I would really love some comments. You guys have probably been around the block enough that you guys know kind of the general things to do to support people that are trying to do this. If you're interested in seeing where this goes long term, please consider supporting. It would mean the absolute world to me. The biggest thing that would evidence to me that I should keep doing this is probably the email list. I've created an email list, and if you're interested in hearing more, I would absolutely love it if you would join my email list. I think that's probably the highest value thing. Let's get into the tips. Tip number 1 is find a buddy. If you're in a place right now and you've got PRs and you've got a ton of PRs, which is probably the case because that's how industry is doing things right now, you probably want to try and find a buddy. If you have to have an approval to get your code through, then find a buddy who you get to know and who you talk to a lot. Talk to them, chat to them, get to know them. And if you have a buddy, you have somebody that you can communicate really well with, the natural result of this is going to be that you're going to do their PRs and they're going to do your PRs and you're going to work well together. If you have a process that requires 2 approvals, make darn sure that you have 2 buddies. If you run around and you make enemies with the people on your team, or you have this awkward team dynamic where you're kind of really polite to each other, but nobody really cares about each other. I've been in that type of environment a lot. Everybody's trying to be professional, but they're all kind of masking a little bit. Make sure that you have somebody on your team that you know well. That is going to protect you, and it's going to also help create an environment where you are able to get your code through because you have somebody that you're working with. You have somebody that is going with you. My second tip is to plan. This sounds overly simple, but you'd be surprised how many people just don't plan. Actually, right now with the AI boom, people are taking planning and throwing it out the window. People are just coding and coding and coding. My little book here, Mythical Man Month, it tells us that we should plan 1/3 of the time, write code 1/6 of the time, leaving us with half the time. What is the rest of the half of the time? Testing. That's what this book is saying. And then if you look at the Scrum Guide usually ends up somewhere around 1/8 of your time is spent in meetings. The more you're sitting down and understanding the problems, the better off you're going to be, because you're not going to build something that's the wrong thing. I'm basically asking you to have more meetings, and I completely understand how people are tired of meetings. And honestly, it's a balance. If you have too many meetings, it could be a problem. If you have too few meetings, it's also a problem. You need to find the right balance. I'm actually just coming from a place where we didn't have enough meetings. Everybody was siloed, and it made it really hard to get things done. Developer A would run out and do something, developer B would run out and do something, and they wouldn't match up. If I were you, I would try to talk through these 3 categories to make sure that we don't end up with a problem where developer A goes and does something, developer B goes and does something, and they don't match up. The 3 things you should make sure you're on the same page about are requirements, the rough implementation plan, and module interfaces and interactions. Put more simply, you need to make sure you're on the same page about what the app is supposed to do, how you're going to make the app do that thing, and if you're going to divide and conquer, how are you going to make the 2 pieces of code you're writing work together? Tip number 3 is going to be controversial. Tip number 3 is keep your WIP lower than the number of people on your team. If you have 5 people on your team, have your WIP be 4. You can only have 4 tasks in progress at any given time if you have 5 members on your team. If you have 4 members, you can only have 3 tasks in progress at any given time. Let me tell you about the experience that convinced me of this. I was working on a team of 3, and I went to lunch, and when I came back, I noticed that they had started on a new task. The task they had started on was to go around and collect a bunch of routes of everything that we had in our system. When I got back, I looked at what they were doing and said, don't we already have something that will do this for us? We have the routes endpoint that will just give us all of the routes, right? It just so happened that I, in this case, the least experienced developer, remembered that we had something. Me being in the room helped us remember. The bedrock of communication that we had on that team is what allowed that speed up to happen. If we weren't communicating effectively and we weren't communicating often by being in the same room or being in the same Slack huddle or whatever video conferencing software that you decide to use, it would have taken longer. One of the core values that I have is non-dogmatism. If you're a functional bro, I think you're wrong. If you're an object-oriented bro, I think you're wrong. I just think there's so much to software that if you try to slap one opinion on everything and say that one strategy or one thing fits all, you're gonna be wrong in some possible way. If these work for you, great. If they don't force them. Excuse the slowly darkening background. It's getting a little bit later, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for getting here, and it means the world to me. It means everything to me that you would do this. This is my first video. I'm a little nervous, a little excited. We'll see how it goes, but I just want to say thank you. If you found it enjoyable, if you learned something, do all the things down below, and specifically the email list. And I'll see you in the next one.